All right, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is the last day of the month, August 31st. And I am doing my quick morning scan to see what we're going to be looking at this morning. All right, so if you're joining us on YouTube and Facebook, thank you. Once again, this is a demonstration of the simplicity of my trading approach that I've used over the last 40 years of trading. It is different. It is unique. They're based on what I call behavioral patterns. Those are not your standard chart patterns. We're not talking about head and shoulders and pennants and those types of things. These are actual bar patterns, combination of bar patterns that are overlaid on top of each other to provide us with an entry point. We'll continue to watch RTY. Excuse me, I got a cough this morning. We'll continue to watch the mini Russell RTY. Watch ES, which is E-mini S&P 500. Gold for GC, CL for crude. And on the currencies, we'll be watching the Euro US and the US Yen. And then on the stocks, we'll continue with the same stocks we were looking at yesterday. ESTC, FANG, USO, and STNG. The methods we'll be using, we have two. We have what we call it's really our foundation or core strategy. And we'll be using that with the currencies, the Euro US and the US Yen. It's a combination of 5 different behavioral patterns. And then on the stocks, on the indices, and the commodities, we'll be using what we call Einstein. That is a formula. It's a mathematical formula in combination with patterns. The difference is Einstein is going to give us very specific entries, profit targets, and or reversal points. And the currencies, when we're using one of the core behavioral patterns, it's going to be more time sensitive. So once we enter a trade, we usually don't hold it more than 4 to 5 minutes. Whereas with Einstein, we will wait to either hit target and or reversal. Sometimes we hit target pretty quickly, and sometimes we do not. The idea here is to demonstrate that we can trade pretty much any market as long as we have, as long as it's publicly available market, which obviously most of them are. So we need that volume in there, but we can trade stocks, commodities, we can trade our currencies, we can trade cryptos. So I'll keep an eye on Bitcoin this morning as well and see what that's doing. And the idea is just to show you that we can use it across different types of markets. These patterns, each pattern is can be used in any market. So it's not specific to one particular market, which makes them universal, which is a more reliable tool than something that only works in one particular market. All right, so it's taken me a long time to find these particular patterns, but they have done well over the last. I've been trading for 40 years. They have done well over the last 30 years of trading, and the percentages continue to hold up. With the core patterns, we're looking at somewhere in the 70 percentile. With Einstein, we're going to be hitting target somewhere in the same area, somewhere between 72 and 80% of the time before we hit reversal. We will have reversals, but we have pretty strong odds that we're going to hit our target before reversal. That being said, I'm going to do a quick scan, see if we have any initial setups here. I really don't see anything going on. I do see a buy coming up on STNG, so I'm going to watch STNG. And STNG, I'm going to put a profit target on that, 40.75, 40.75. And reversal, that's going to be 40.25. I'm sorry. It's going to be 40 even. Let's make that 40 even. So we have a number of different ways that we could trade these when we're trading stocks. We can our entry, by the way, is getting triggered at 40.5. So we already got triggered at 40.5. Now, a couple ways you can do it. You can wait for a pullback and then enter. If you wait for a pullback, I'd enter somewhere around the 40.30 area or lower. Or you can also add to a position if you're already long at 40.5. And then we have that stop down there at 40. You can use that as a reversal if you want to be a short seller, or just get out and we'll wait for another buy setup. So let's see here. So that's STNG is in a buy position right now. Once again, this is a very simplified process too. One of the things about the way that we trade is, you see I don't have any indicators on my charts. I do not believe in indicators. Everything that I do is pattern based. And there's a reason why each one of these patterns work. There is a logic behind it. It's not just some random pattern. And it's proven itself because they come up again and again in all the different markets. So let's see what else. I said I would take a look at Bitcoin. Let me see what Bitcoin is doing. All right, for Bitcoin, if you like Bitcoin, you can have a really strong buy up here at 2,200. Let's see here, at 2350, 20,350. I'm just going to put just a little alert in there to watch that. So nice buy coming in at 2350 on Bitcoin. All right, not seeing anything on gold. We are getting a buy on NQ. Let me show you NQ real quick here. NQ is actually going to be our mini NASDAQ. We are on a pretty strong HF1 buy, so I just want to go ahead and put that one out there. Let me give you a target on that NQ. Okay, calculated target on the NQ. That's going to bring us up to a target of 124.95. 124.95. Once again, this is using the Einstein method. It's something that we teach in our Platinum package. Everything is fully explained, so we do full disclosure on all these methods that I've developed over the last 40 years. I've only recently released Einstein. I discovered Einstein back in the late 80s. Actually, it was something that was shown to me by a very successful trader. I made a few modifications. I've used my patterns along with Einstein, but the actual formula was something disclosed to me back in the late 80s, and it's an amazing formula, and it does work. So 124.95 is my target. In fact, we're getting up there. We're getting ready to trigger it now. If we do hit it, you will hear an audio saying profit target hit. So you know that we hit target. Thanks, Glenn. It is. It is. Thank you, sir. Morning, John H. Possible buy coming up on the Euro US. Want to keep an eye on that. You're going to see these little carrots, these little green carrots and red carrots. They are potential setups. Not all of them are. And we'll show you how to read that if you decide you want to get in one of our packages. But they are potential setups. All right, FANG is getting a buy as well. Getting a buy on FANG. Target on FANG is going to bring us up to 131.82. And we're get out and or reverse down here at 130.32. So we're slightly biased. We did run a scan on stocks. And once again, every morning we run a scan and we look at 12,000 different stocks. Tends to be, there's a little bit more bias to the upside today than the downside, not by much. I think it came in, 54, 46, something like that, 54% up. So could be a mixed bag today, we'll see. But slightly biased to the upside. And when we run this scan, we're actually looking at some of our patterns. So we're running it on the patterns. And we're looking at what percentages that do have a setup, what percentages are up and what percentages are showing to be a down day. And we're getting slightly biased more to the upside. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, still long FANG and STNG. Waiting to hit target here on our mini NASDAQ. So I like this mini NASDAQ. This is what we call an HF1 buy. I do like those HF1 buys, so I do like this buy on the mini NASDAQ HF1 buy. Once again, as you can see, that target's going to come in at 124.95. 124.95. Wow, John, you already hit your goal of $624. Good job. Okay, so the question is, and it's a really good question, when we're trading Einstein, talking about reversals, do you trade reversals or do you not trade reversals? Well, first of all, the probabilities are going to remain the same. So even if you do take a reversal, you're still going to have the same probabilities as if you just went with buys and or sells. But one of the things I look at when it comes to reversals is we do look at intermarket relationships. All right, and each stock does have another stock that correlates with it. If I'm getting confirmation, the overall market is down, let's say, and I'm getting confirmation from the other stocks that it's going to go down, I may go ahead and take that reversal. All right, but in most cases, most people like to be strictly buyers because stocks are a little bit harder to short than they are, a little bit more riskier too, obviously. Sometimes it's hard to find shares. So in most cases, we're going to stick with the buys instead of the reversals. But you can certainly do the reversals if that's what you like to do. But stocks are going to be a little bit different. The other thing on the stocks is I like to see it hit entry and then pull back and then enter on the pullback. Okay. So what that does, it gives me a larger profit target and it reduces my risk on the trade. So I prefer to buy on those pullbacks and not necessarily reverse on the stock. Unless we have a really, really strong market to the downside and we're getting a short, then I'll go ahead and I'll take that reversal. And some stocks are better at that than others. Tesla is one of those. Really good. Tesla is really good. You can trade Tesla both ways. But anyway, John, I hope that answers your question. That was a good question. All right, we're getting closer to hitting our target up here on the mini NASDAQ. All right, we're getting a short on the crude oil. Let's take a look at the crude oil real quick here. We are getting a short on the crude oil. Entry is 90 or 90.05. My target on that crude is going to be 89.45. 89.45 on crude, 89.45. And when I'm trading commodities, I'm trading indices, definitely take the shorts. Only on stocks do I tend to be more long biased. Okay, so profit target on crude is going to bring us down to 89.45. Enter is 90.05. And if for some reason we need to reverse, and I will because it's set up for an HF1, what we call an HF1 buy, that would be a 90.65 reversal. 90.65. profit target hit. All right, so we just hit profit target on our mini NASDAQ. We'll get out of that. Also, the other thing is when you're trading Einstein or really any market, you only want to trade probably no more than 2 at a time. Even if you're just using one of the core patterns, I don't like to trade more than 2 instruments at a time. So, particularly more so with Einstein. So, my favorites are going to be usually RTY, which is going to be your mini Russell. Let's see here. I do like the mini Dow, which is the one we just got out of in Q. I like gold, and I like natural gas, which we've been following. We've changed that up a little bit. We're watching crude this week. And once again, this is just for demonstrational purposes only. The question is do you feel this is something that can be used and as an additional tool when you're trading? Everything that we do obviously are tools. Everything is a tool. Some tools are more reliable than others. These tools have proven themselves out over the last 30 years. So I think they're, well, I know they're tools that I can rely on. And once you understand the logic behind them, then that will help you build confidence in using the tools. And that's a big part of trading, is you have to be confident in using your tool. And that's the big problem with indicators. Not only are they lagging price, but I don't know of any indicator that you can just use the same parameters and trade it across the board. You know, can you take the same parameter that you use with the E-mini S&P and come over here and trade crude with it, or trade a currency, or trade Bitcoin with it? The answer is, I bet you there's not one. At least I've never seen one yet. But behavioral patterns are reliable. And so the purpose here is to demonstrate it. If you think this is a tool that you could use, then this is going to be something you're going to want to learn. And we spend a lot of time in our live trading rooms, morning and evening. I put in a lot of screen time because I do trade. And so you get a lot of hands-on experience. And more importantly what's not important is whether a particular trader can make money. There's a lot of gurus out there that say they make a lot of money, and there are some that do extremely well. All right? And there are a few on YouTube that I've seen that are real traders. But the problem is that people get lured into thinking that if a trader that's been trading for 20 years is profitable, you're going to become profitable as well. And that is just not the case, folks, because there are no tools that you can use on their own without having any kind of experience or any screen time. All right. What's more important is, are there students making money? All right. Is this a method that can be taught, and are the students making money? All right. If this is a process that can be transferred to, say, a non-experienced trader and turn them into a profitable trader, that is more important than whether somebody trading for 20, 40 years like myself is making money. Doesn't mean you're going to duplicate my success, because I have a lot of experience. So the question to ask is, how are the students doing? Are the students making money? And you're going to find, not only do I have a lot of students make money, but a lot of them are going into full-time now trading because of the use of these setups and these patterns. The other thing is, this trading is a very simple approach. So I have simplified the process, and that's the other thing. People make trading too complicated. So I see it all the time. I see people using indicators, and then they have one, so that one indicator doesn't work, so they throw in another indicator. And I go back to that same analogy. You know, it's like your car's not running well, and you got a spark plug that's out, and it's just not running right, so you throw in another dead spark plug. Folks, it doesn't make sense. If one indicator on its own doesn't make money, why do you think 2 on their own are going to make money that don't? So if a indicator by itself does not make any money, then throw in another indicator by itself that doesn't make any money. How do you think 2 of those together are going to help you? Okay, it's logically, it just doesn't make any sense. All right. So the patterns that we use, they do, every single one, that when we layer every single one of those patterns can be traded on their own. But by layering them, we get a much holistic picture of not only the overall direction of the market, but also the indication of strength and magnitude of the moves. That's real important when you become a trader. Now, we are very specialized. We like to really be short-term traders, so we do a lot of scalping, but we do have trades that we put on overnight, and we do put those out every night, and those have done well. And those are basically kind of a set-and-forget trade for traders that don't like or don't have the time to trade during the day. You put those trades on at night, and you let them go, and they expire the following day. And it's really quite that simple. So, and that's using the same patterns that we use, whether I'm using it on a 5-minute chart or I'm using it on a daily chart. The patterns are still going to be quite effective. So anyway, that's sitting here right now waiting for FANG to come up, seeing if STNG is going to come up and hit target. Crude is in a short right now, already out of the NQ. Let's take a look at RTY. Not seeing anything on RTY yet. Wow, nice trade, John. Good job on that. Looks like that Aussie's getting ready to drop here pretty good. Watch this Aussie US start pulling back down. If you're watching Aussie US, I don't have it up on the screen here, but it looks like Aussie US is getting ready to pull down pretty good here. Looks like we're going to start shooting up over here on the yen, so we can watch this yen as it shoots up here. Those are certainly scalping opportunities. I don't incorporate that right now in the morning show. It's called the Crystal Ball or CB.
Reverse sell.
All right, let's see what just reversed. Okay, FANG would be one of those reversals, and because it's so fast, it already hit target, so it's already pulled back. That did put in an HF1 short, too fast to get into it. I have nothing on USO, nothing on ESTC. And STNG also just hit reversal and reverse, went short. So we were looking at a 40.75 on STNG. Reversal came in at, let's see here, came in at 40. I think the buy was somewhere around 40.05. Is that right? Something like that. And it had a target of 39.75, and it's already blasted through that. So too fast. Once again, like I said, when you're trading Einstein, you gotta really just focus on one or two stocks. It's just the idea here is I'm trying to keep up with these 10 different markets. Certainly wouldn't be able to trade that real time. I have one or two that I trade, and that's it. The rest I'm using just as demonstrational purposes. Crude oil still in the short, looking for target 89.45. If we get another buy set up on these stocks, I'll go ahead and give that to you. Watching USCO, STNG, NFANG. ESTC is still moving up, so I don't have any buys on that. Crude oil getting ready to hit target. Profit target hit. All right, we just hit profit target on crude. Out of crude, flat right now. Dow's down 62. So we did have, let's see here. Well, that was this morning. We had some jobless claims come out. Another report called the S&P Global PMI. Don't have anything out right now, but I think they're just the Dow being down. I think it's spooking some of these markets in here. So once again, we did our scan last night. We did show a very small bias, 54 to 46. Only a 54% chance of the market being up today. So it's pretty much 50-50. We don't have really a strong bias. Yesterday, obviously, we had a much stronger bias to the downside, but today we just don't have much of a bias. So it's anybody's guess, but it's slightly biased to the upside. And that's for the overall market. Jerry Long is long for Pap. Pap is one of the patterns that we teach in our silver package, which is part of our original core package. Now we renamed it. It's called the silver package. Looks like RTY is getting ready to break and come on down as well. Watching RTY. RTY is going to be your small cap. Watching that. All right, Dow's starting to pull up a little bit here, down 24. All right, crude right now is setting up for a buy, so we've already exited our short crude, hit target, but now we're reversing it, and it looks like we're setting up for a buy here. So buy on crude, target 90.65. $90.65 on crude. Reversal 89.45. All right, just have a buy on the crude oil right now. Once again, if Bitcoin can come up, let's see here. We'll get Bitcoin up to 2350. That's going to be a good buy area on Bitcoin. 20,350. 20,350. like this possible double carried buy. You see this double carried buy on the US yen down here? Two green little carrots, two little green carrots pointing up. That means the next bar we're looking for it to go up. I do like those. I prefer to be more of a short seller on those than a buyer, but we're going to go ahead and we'll call that buy coming up if it holds. And that's going to be on the US yen. Now Dow is, wow, Dow's at what, 57? Dow is now at 57. Dow's up 64. Getting a buy in USO, getting a buy in USO down here. Let's look at this buy. Buying USO, target in USO is going to be 74.45. Okay, we got to buy on the US yen on that double carrot. Aggressive buy 77 on the yen. Prefer to see a pullback come down closer to 73. 138.73 would be, I don't want to pull back and get into the, get in around 138.73. I think we'll get that pullback in here, and then we can get in and buy in around that 138.73 level.
Profit target hit.
All right, so USO hit its target. Still on crude, looking for crude to hit target. Target on crude, 90.65. All right, yen pull back to that 138.73. So I got a 73 long on the yen.
Profit target hit.
All right, target hit in crude oil. Crude oil hit its target. Got a buy on RTY, getting a buy on RTY. Target on RTY is going to bring us up to 1869, 1869. That is going to be our profit target, 1869 on the mini Russell. Still along the US yen, 138.73. We'll be getting out of that here in less than a minute. We're sitting at 138.75. Okay, getting out of that yen, US yen. Nice win on the US yen double. That's a double carrot. Yeah, I can see the US yen coming up to 138.84. 138.84. Looks like RTY is still in a buy here. What's our target here? 1869 target on RTY, which is going to be your mini Russell. Another good entry point on RTY on the long side right here. Dow's up 89. Yeah, it looks like the US yen did hit our target on there. 138.84. All right, Dow's at 22 right now. Bouncing all over the place. They're trying to push it up. Slight bias to the upside today. Okay, so here we go. We're at the top of the hour. Once again, if you'd like more information on my trading approach, the best way to do that is to watch some of my videos on YouTube, innovativetradingstrategies.com. And if you have any questions, just go to my website. Always be glad to answer your questions. I do answer all questions personally. And we'll be back here again tomorrow. Same time, we do the first hour free, and then we continue on with our students. We'll continue to watch these markets and see if we can get some additional nice setups. All right, everybody have a good trading day, and we'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Take